Hello, welcome to Steve Knows, and I want to review the Oculus Quest, but from the perspective of a PSVR owner. I've seen questions all the time for this comparison, and many reviews are about the transition from PC VR to the Quest. So please sit very rigidly for the review.
Fight!
I'm going to compare each headset in topics and give my take on each. So let's start off with the resolution. The PSVR's resolution is a very shocking 1080 by 960, and you can tell this by playing the games that are on it. Everything looks so grainy, like you're sitting so close to a standard definition TV from like 20 years ago. The issue really bothered me because some games that you expect to look incredible just don't, because of that reason. But this, the Oculus Quest, has 1440 by 1660 resolution, which is more than its PC VR counterpart, the Rift. Combining that with the OLED screen display, colours and visuals look ridiculously crisp and vibrant. Immediately playing Beat Saber on the Quest, I have the comparison because I have it on PSVR, and I was amazed. The sabers on the Quest glow. And I know you can clearly see that there is more going on in the PlayStation, but the actual visual fidelity within the headset was so much better on the Quest. This was night and day an improvement over this. The field of view is your peripheral vision whilst inside the headset, the tunnel vision. On PlayStation VR, we have around 100 degrees in our field of view, which is this shape. This isn't much at all, and you can notice the kind of tunnel vision whilst you play. When normally you'd be able to just look to the side, you actually have to move your head to be able to catch something in the corner. But on the Oculus Quest, you get a marginal improvement of 110, which doesn't sound like a lot, but a 10% improvement over the PSVR is noticeable. This helps create a deeper immersion as your field of view isn't compromised, allowing you to enjoy your surroundings without having to awkwardly turn around. It's still not great on the Quest. I still, when I have the headset on, I can see that where my peripheral is actually restricted, but it is better. The refresh rate, how many times a second your screen will update the imagery. Games on big TVs are commonly around 60 frames per second, and you get even more if you're a PC gamer. But the PSVR actually has 90 to 120 Hz refresh rate, so you can potentially see, if you're looking for it, the smoother movement in these games. I think it's able to do this because of the intense hardware it has on the home console behind it, but a rather low spec headset to run. The Oculus Quest is only rocking 72 Hz refresh rate, which is significantly lower, and hearing these stats you may be shocked, but as you get higher and higher frame rates, the noticeability becomes exponentially harder to notice. But you do notice the refresh rate difference in fast-paced games, as debris and such are whizzing past you at such fast speeds. You can see the slight judder as the frames are slower, but it's not even close to the degree where it would break your immersion or you will complain. But the PlayStation VR does win on this one. Okay, let's move on to the tracking, because this is a huge one, because without the tracking and looking around, you lose the sense of immersion. The tracking creates the realistic movement that makes us feel like we're immersed into another world. The PSVR uses lighting to track the movement of the user. As you've seen, the Move controllers have the ball at the end that lights up, and the headset has the awesome blue lights around it. But this is so flawed, as a camera is used to follow these lights, trying to translate not only which light is mapped to what, but the position of that light in 3D space. The tracking is so poor. If you're slightly off camera, it goes crazy and you won't be able to recover. If the light is slightly out of field of view from when you turn around, you lose tracking altogether. All PSVR owners know this struggle. The Quest has 4 internal cameras that are externally facing, and this tracks tons of little dots around the room like the Kinect did, if you remember, to determine the distance and position of movement. This works incredibly well in space that has different terrain, such as if there's a sofa, a carpet, a TV unit. It does not work so well if you're in wide open space that doesn't differ that much. But how often are you going to be in that scenario? The tracking of these controllers is a light year away from the PlayStation VR, and I mean that in a good way. It can track you in whatever direction you are facing due to the tracking being embedded into the headset. It also has a software solution where if your tracking goes off or you get out of the field of view of the cameras, it will try and predict where you are going, reducing the break of immersion as much as possible. This is so much better. Okay, the controllers. This is an area that I just don't understand from Sony. The Move controllers being used from an entire generation ago that they haven't even updated with an analog stick. And they're still charging around £70 for the set. It's just beyond me. The PlayStation VR has 2 Move controllers if you want the full experience, but they are so lackluster in their movement ability. The use of the controller only has a single trigger and a few buttons on top. The functionality that you need just is not there. The limitations of these things become so apparent in games, it's beyond frustrating. But the Oculus Quest comes with 2 touch controllers, and wow, when I got this thing and put the headset on for the first time and I was playing the setup game, I was just looking at my hands for so long, moving my index fingers, my thumb, pointing, making fists. It was amazing, and the tracking of these things are sublime. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities and immersion in gaming that before wasn't possible on this thing. Okay, let's move on to the headset, because personally, I actually prefer the design or the aesthetics of the PlayStation VR. It seems more futuristic, although the design is big and clunky. I love the lights, the white and the black contrast. It just screams Sony PlayStation. The Quest is like a dark grey with a fabric on it like the Google Home, which just doesn't look that great. Nothing really pops. But apart from that, the Quest actually has the ability to have support on top of your head, not just around, as the PlayStation VR has like a headband with a front head unit. The Quest also has the ability here to change the IPD of your headset, which helps so much trying to focus and get the best visuals, because in the PlayStation VR headset, you have to move it around to get the position right, and it's a frustrating experience, to say the least. The final point on this topic is that the PlayStation VR headset weighs 589 grams and the Quest weighs 571. That's not much difference, but over time, in an extended period of play, you're gonna feel the weight on your face, so the lighter, the better. And considering the Quest has built-in hardware and the PlayStation VR is just an empty headset, what on earth is in this thing? Okay, the hardware. This one I can't really compare, as the Quest is not in the same market as the PlayStation VR. It's a portable option, not a home console add-on. So let's break this into setup and cost. The setup of the PlayStation VR is so painful. There's so much extra setup, as you have an external unit. You have to plug that into a power source, plug in the USB to the PS4, HDMI from the PS4 to the external unit, HDMI from the unit to the TV, the headset extension to the unit, and then the headset to the extension, and then a camera into the PlayStation 4 that you have to set up somewhere. Then turn the PlayStation 4 remotes on, wait for the console to boot, and then wait for the headset to boot whilst you turn it on. I think I've made my point. The setup is a nightmare. But with the Quest, when you want to play, you pick it up, put it on, and it literally takes about 2 to 3 seconds, and I'm in VR in my immersive experience, tracking the controllers in my home hub, ready to jump in to an amazing world. This is the benefit of having mobile chips like the Nintendo Switch had. It's just, you get really fast startup times. And in this headset there's also built-in audio, so you literally don't even need a TV like you do with the PlayStation, or anything to use it, just the headset. And there is no wires, nothing. And it makes this experience just so bliss and easily accessible. This looks evil. Now the cost comparison of the headset, because the Oculus Quest, the 64GB model, was £399. The PSVR, when it was first released at launch, is £350 just for the headset. And you needed to buy a camera, a PS4, and the controllers. But let's assume you have a PlayStation 4, so what would it cost today to get that set up? Amazon, £250 for the headset and camera bundle. With £70 to £80 for the Move controllers, you're looking about $320. So it's a little bit cheaper if you own a PlayStation 4, but it's such a worse experience. The Quest is above and beyond. But now the main thing about gaming, the game library. This is always a wise move when choosing a system, because it's what you're going to experience. This is something that you should really check out for yourself, as people's preferences in terms of content always varies. But for me, the PlayStation VR has some great titles like Resident Evil 7, which I wish I could play on the Quest, or the amazing award-winning Astrobot. But from what I've seen, a lot of PSVR games that aren't first party are actually slowly making their way over to the Quest as well, such as Superhot, Job Simulator, Fruit Ninja, Moss, Creed. There's just so many. The Quest also has an Oculus exclusive library behind it, which is one of the leading VR creators, so you can have confidence that the content they will provide, especially since the Zuck came out and stated that they only want quality games on the Quest. all the experimentation can occur on PC VR. We only want the cream of the crop. You can have confidence that the games you're going to play are going to be amazing. So the PlayStation VR, at the time, there was no other option available for home console gamers. It was an amazing insight into the virtual world and what things could be. But the Quest, even with its inferior hardware, takes that immersion to the next level. It is a huge upgrade in virtual reality, like the original iPhone to when the iPhone 4 came out. It was a huge jump in tech and capability. The Quest is the best VR experience you can have from these systems without a shadow of a doubt. Even with its pitfalls of being inferior hardware, the pros of accessibility, the library, the portability, the price. I'm just so happy with this purchase. If you're on PlayStation VR and you're on the fence, I definitely recommend getting this because it's going to change how you view virtual reality experiences, and it is hassle-free. Put it on, within seconds, you're ready to go. Thanks for watching my Oculus Quest review compared to the PlayStation VR. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.